De Bruyne's come around. Haaland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
And we're live. Welcome back for another deadline stream. International break done, completed it. We're back. Gameweek 4. Welcome to another deadline stream. How are we all? How was your break? Are we happy to have FPL back? I went into the break on a red arrow as well, which makes the international breaks even worse when you have to sit there for 2 weeks looking at a red arrow. But it's good to be back. Finger cracking, was I? Didn't even realise I was doing it then. So yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. I've been adding some more players to the stream intro. Nearly filled it all up now. Welcome Tom FC, Nicola, Alf, Bolu, Per Hansen. We've got Frederick here. Loads of members today. Edzo, Austin, Saka, Jan, Louis, Gaming, Luca, Harvel, Flanuel, Liam. Saka is him, 36, Stevie, Nat the One, Razan. Razan said the music was too quiet, so I cranked it up. Hopefully it's the right sort of volume now. Welcome all to the stream. Good to be back streaming FPL. It's been a minute. How's everyone's teams looking? I think I'm actually going to roll this week after all that. I don't normally come back from an international break and roll. It feels like anyway, but I've still got faith in Rodgers and Watkins. I might be deluded. I might be deluded, but I still think they're worth holding in my position. What do you guys think? Would you sell if you're in my position? I could sell. I was going to do Rodgers to Sarr maybe, but I'm not going to do that now. I could do Watkins to João Pedro. Does João Pedro definitely start? I could do Mateta, or I could save a transfer, and then in Gameweek 5. They've got Burnley home, right? No, Sunderland away. Burnley home's in Game Week 7, so I'll keep them for Sunderland. And then maybe I sell in Game Week 6. I don't know if any of you watched the team selection video, but in Game Week 6 I was looking at something like Watkins to Haaland, Salah to Palmer, and Gakpo to someone like Ndai, or it could be Rodgers to someone like Paquetá. There's like a few ways I could go if I roll this week, so I think I'm going to roll. That's my thoughts. I don't like making transfers last minute on the deadline stream, so I'm going to commit early on and say I'm not doing it, but I might change my mind. What do we think of the team then? I've had a lot of comments this week saying... what did that one yesterday say? It said something like, bro's going to be 10 million with an extra transfer. This team desperately needs a wild card. I don't think it needs a wild card. I think that team's alright for this week. Zelda, thanks for the 27 months. Let me get the old... Forgot to grab the stream deck here. Is the confetti cannon still working? It's been a while since I loaded it with any. It is. Zelda, thanks for the 27 months. He says, Sarr to Semenyo or Nico to Munoz worth a -4. From -4, probably not. Oh, probably wouldn't do it from -4. If you're saying one or the other, then definitely one of those moves is worth it. But if you've already used your free transfers and now it's a -4 after that, I probably wouldn't do it. Nico to Munoz, I quite like. But for a -4, I don't think I would. I think loads of people are going to wildcard in Game Week 6 as well. Even if they don't realise it right now, I think that's what's going to happen to loads and loads of teams. Has anyone already been thinking about Wildcard 6? Has anyone used theirs already or activated the wildcard right now over the break? Typo in the team news next section. What did I write? What did I write? Let me open it up. Where is it? Stream design, news. What's the typo? Used the wildcard, you've used it already, activated it, strongly considering wildcard 6. I think lots of people are going to end up doing it in 6. Because if we look at the fixtures, the main standout is kind of there's a swing for Liverpool and Man City. Yeah, Game Week 6, Liverpool have got Palace away. I don't think you can see that. Maybe I'll use it over here. This might be better. Yeah, that's a bit better. Maybe if we go Game Weeks like that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, Game Week 6, Man City have got Burnley home, Brentford away, Everton home. So, like, I want Haaland for that run, basically. Liverpool have got Palace away, Chelsea away, Man United home. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, Salah's the FPL Go and he can still do well over that run. But I think that's an opportunity there to swap a few players around. So, yeah, I'm considering it Game Week 6 currently. Or I could use up those three free transfers instead and just save the wild card. But, you know, Palmer... Don't know what Teddy's doing here. He's eating cardboard. Teddy! Forgot to give him breakfast. He's literally just eating cardboard. Mav Rain, thanks for the super chat, says, for questioning the Bruno shout. What was that? I can't even remember now. Was this when you were questioning me, captaining Bruno? One thing I've got right this season is the captaincy. I've not blanked yet with captains, but I'm like 5.2 million, but I'm not worried right now. The season's long. If I'm still 5.2 million in 10 game weeks time, then I'll be really sweating. But right now, like, it's no problem. Oh yeah, so the team news. What did I put there? And Dyer's a concern with a knock. Sarr's injured till game week 6. Bayandier's going to start. Strand Larsen's injured. Ain't Nori, Marmoush and Cherky all out. Palmer trained. Oh, palmed. Yeah. Palmer trained partially. If anyone's got Palmer, what are you doing with him? And then Wisser's out of Game Week 4 with a knee injury. Ain't Nori I've just seen as well. He's out for 5 weeks. So it could be Vardy all time, potentially. 5 weeks, Ain't Nori's out. Bruno G, yeah, he's an option as well. Come on then, Ted. Palmed, yeah, okay, fixed it. Should be fixed anyway. Yeah, Bruno G. I can't get behind the Bruno G pick, honestly. I noticed like FPL Review loves Bruno G. I don't really get it. I guess he must be really good for DEFCON. Why keep Villa? I just think their next 2 fixtures are still good. And if I roll, then I can get to Haaland and Palmer in Game Week 6. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, thank you again for that, Mav. Kieran says, Strand Larsen and Sarr to Mateta and Gakpo for free. Yeah, if you can do that for free, brilliant moves. Brilliant moves. I would do that 100%. It's just like a no-brainer when you're selling 2 injured players. I got a bit lucky with Strand Larsen. I sold him before the break for Gyökeres, and I just need Gyökeres to do something now. And I'll be really happy with that transfer, because obviously Strand Larsen's out again this game week. So, got potential to be a good move, but yeah, with hindsight, I should have just gone to João Pedro or even Mateta, but we'll see. I'm still happy to have Gyökeres this game week. Has anyone got Gyökeres or buying him? Obviously, Nuno's gone. Aina's out for like 3 months. Ange is back. And Arsenal playing Forest home. So I'm quite happy to have him. Havertz is out for a while as well. So I think by game week 7, Gyökeres is going to be extremely highly owned. So potentially a bit ahead of the curve. But if I end up wildcarding in game week 6, then it kind of made the Gyökeres transfer a bit more pointless. A little bit. Because I could have just gone for someone else short term like Mateta and João Pedro. Because obviously game week 5, Man City, game week 6, Newcastle. Game week 7, I think lots of people wildcard anyway. Or even game week 6. Punting on Eze on the free hit. Yeah, I don't mind that. Don't mind Eze on the free hit. He'll start left wing, I expect. Alexander, thanks for the super chat. Says Dorgu to Senesi or Dorgu and Sarr to Munoz and Paquetá -4. Probably wouldn't take the -4 if it was me. And I'm guessing you can't afford a 5 mil defender because Gw4 I think would be the one. Again, it does depend on your chip strategy. Like if you're going to wildcard game week 6, I would just go to Richards for 4-5. Otherwise, Senesi's better longer term. If that makes sense. But yeah, I don't think I'd take the -4. It does look pretty good bringing in those 2 players, but I don't like hits. I avoid hits whenever I can. It's a boring way to play, but I've found hits often don't pay off. Has anyone taken any hits yet this season? How many hits have you taken? None, -4, -8 or more. Has anyone taken a -8 already? I guess lots of people will have. Bobby says we're back. Rate my free hit, please. He's gone Raya Munoz, Gabriel Cher, Bruno G, Salah Semenyo, Gakpo, Ekitike, Mateta, Walter Marda. Says Arsenal game I don't know. Probably going to be a 0-0 or a 1-0. Have a great game week, everyone. Good luck and have fun. So interestingly, I saw Ross Raptor posted a supposed leaked Newcastle lineup last night, and it didn't have Cher starting. Do what you want with that information, and I don't know the reliability, but he did post a leaked Newcastle lineup that didn't have Cher in centre back. So I'd be tempted to. I can't remember who it had. It might have had like Livramento or something. If I had Livramento in it, I'd probably go for him just to be safe based on that. Yeah, if I was on a free hit, I'd definitely have Gyökeres. Personally. I feel like you could do better than Bruno G as well. There's got to be better picks than Bruno G on a free hit, surely. Ekitike captain as well. I mean, maybe. I would captain Salah. What do you guys think Isak's minutes look like this game week? Predictions in the chat on Isak's minutes. Does he start and come off at 60? Does he come off the bench and get like 30? Or is he going to be an unused sub or maybe not in the squad? In which case, 0. What's your predictions? Flappy says 0. Liam reckons he gets 10. 10, 15, bench maybe 10. Yeah, I'd go with that. I reckon he gets like 10. Which is why I think Gakpo is still a brilliant pick. I think he's going to be safe for the next 2, maybe more. Like I was fiddling around with minutes on FPL Review, and if you put Gakpo on like 85, he comes in 4th top this game week. So yeah, if you fiddle with his minutes, he suddenly looks like a really, really underrated pick. If he gets 85. And I don't think that's out of the question for him to get 85. I think he's had 3 90s in a row, hasn't he? So I think he's an interesting one, Gakpo. And I did a wildcard draft in one of my videos this week, and I had Gakpo in there even. So those are the things I would change. Other than that, nice team. I mean, Walter Marda, if you want to go him over Gyökeres, fair enough, because Viss is out. Like, it's not that bad. He has to start right. Surely he has to. Gordon's out. Viss is out. Should make his debut. Reinders or Gakpo in? I'd go Gakpo if I was picking either of those, Nicola. He played 90 both international matches. Ah, interesting. So maybe gets managed and he comes off like 75, 80-ish. JH says, I have Nico Williams and Murillo and Esteve. One of them has to start. Do I sell one of them or buy another defender or roll? I would consider Murillo to Munoz if you haven't got Munoz already. That's probably what I would do if I was in a position where I was forced to play Murillo. I would sell him, or Milenkovic. I would sell him for Munoz. Obviously, you can do like Nico Williams to Gw4, but I'd prioritise the upside, which is Munoz. So I would do that. Gets you off the double Forest defence. How are we doing, John? Mark says, can you look my team up and suggest one or two transfers? The username is United FC and thoughts on triple captain on Salah. One thing I can't do, Mark, is looking teams up. I used to do it. I used to look up teams and people would give me their IDs, but it became really messy because I wasn't able to interact with the stream as much because I was spending time trying to look up teams. So I'm sorry about that. I can't actually look up teams. But triple captain Salah, I think there's going to be a few better options. I don't hate it, but I think I'd rather wait just based on what we've seen from Salah so far. Like in game week, is it 13? 14. Game week 14, he's got Sunderland home. That's really nice. Game week 6, Haaland's got Burnley home. That's really nice. I'd rate those two better than using it on Salah right now, Mark. Ryan is or Kudus in? Probably Kudus if I was picking one. What's your plan? I'm looking to roll Wellstone. Anish says, transfer Sarr for a hit. Already upgraded Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. I've got 0.5 mil on Murillo, Esteve and Gio on the bench. Free hit 6, wildcard 13 planned. No, I wouldn't do it, especially if you're going to wildcard game week 6, because you need that player to repay 4 points in 2 game weeks, which is quite a tall ask, potentially. I would just ride it out and just hope Murillo gets you defensive contributions. Has anyone else moved Gw along their bench? Gw owners, where is he on your bench now? I've got him in first now, just based on that quote from Maresca about the was it the South American players? Let's see if I can find it. It was some players are potential doubts to start because they were involved in international duty, travelled far and so on. Yeah, like there's some random predicted lineups going around like this. I mean, this is just a random one I've just found on Twitter, but just to give an example, some people are predicting Gw could even start and João Pedro on the bench. I don't know. I still reckon João Pedro starts and comes off early. And he's even got Caicedo on the bench. I don't know if he rotates as much as that. That's quite a rotated team. I'd be surprised, but it kind of shows what fans are thinking right now. But what was the quote? The quote was something like, all the players that played in South America were going to assess and might not start. Something like that. Anyway, so I've put him first on my bench, actually, ahead of Murillo even. I mean, what's better? Gw with getting like half an hour off the bench or a potential start, on Murillo playing Arsenal away. Palmer has to be in the squad. I reckon Palmer starts. I reckon he starts. That's my feeling on Palmer this week. But yeah, Maresca was being pretty coy like when he was being asked about it. Triple captain Mateta. Oh, I don't think I'd do that, James. I was just saying, I think there's better options. Haaland game week 6, Salah game week 13. But yeah, I wouldn't take the hit, Anish. Tuna says, am I too biased? I want to pick Xavi for Bruno Fernandes, or should we just make Bruno, Gakpo and Hope, or keep Bruno and roll? Got one Liverpool. Yeah, I wouldn't sell Bruno Fernandes or Gakpo if that's what you're asking. Just wait and see with Xavi. Just wait and see how he gets on. There's no rush to buy him, in my opinion. The fixtures are still good for a while, so I'll just wait and see how he does. I think Bruno is a potential set and forget. He's going to tick along, whether he's playing deeper or advanced. I think he probably plays as a 10 this match, does he not? Depends on Cunha, I suppose, but it's possible that he's in his best position as well this game for the Manchester derby. It could be Casemiro Ugarte, centre mid perhaps. Any United fans, what's your predictions? Bruno centre mid or Bruno 10? Razan, thanks for the 31 months. Says Aina and Munoz. Aina to Munoz and Rogers to Grealish / Semenyo -4. Or the first one. Yeah, I'll do the first one. Aina's the priority. He's out for 3 months, so just sell him. Keep Rogers. Don't take the hit, in my opinion. That's what I would do. Mr. F says, my team is Sales, Wan-Bissaka, Paro, Reinildo, and Dice, Salah, Enzo, Reinders, Bruno, Haaland, João Pedro. Benches to Bravka, Williams, Esteve, and Gu. Nothing in the bank, 1 transfer. Who do I start? And any ideas on transfers? You're stuck. So your bench looks right to me. In terms of transfers, looks like a potential role. I'd probably do Nico Williams to Lacroix. That's what I would do. Williams to Lacroix and then bench. Who's Reinildo got? I've forgotten Sunderland's fixture. Palace. Oh yeah, of course, Palace away. So do you bench? Yeah, you'd have to bench Wan-Bissaka. Like, does he come back into the team? Even? Probably not. After last match. So you bench Wan-Bissaka and start Lacroix. Yeah, that's what I would do. Isak wildcard. I wouldn't have Isak. I don't think he starts. I don't think there's a world where he starts. I'd bet my life savings on Isak not starting. I did see he's been pretty heavily transferred in though. 691,000 have bought Isak. Let's refresh the numbers. Oh, what have I done here? Transfers in. This is from not only FPL, this website. There we go. Yeah, about 700,000. It's going to be over that by the deadline. Could be like 750,000 transfers in for Isak. I don't think there's a world where he starts. In fact, I've got the quote from Slot here. Slot on Isak's fitness. We're going to treat Isak the same as Sweden did. He missed a proper pre-season, so now we have to build him up gradually, and that's going to be a challenge. But we've signed him not only for 2 weeks, but for the next 6 years. So that says it all. Like, they're going to build his fitness up. He's not starting for a while, in my opinion. At least a couple of game weeks, maybe more. No rush. No rush to buy Isak. I've got him in draft, which is a bit annoying because, yeah, he's still not looking like he's close to starting, probably. But I wouldn't be buying him, wouldn't wildcard him, wouldn't transfer him in. Wait and see. And even when he is starting games, what's his minutes like? You know, like if Ekatike is coming on for him at like 75 minutes or so, then I don't like that. Simon, sorry, forgot to... He says, Forster wildcard, what are your thoughts on his team? He's gone Sanchez to Bravka, Senesi, Tozin, Munoz, Van Dijk, Gudmundsson, Semenyo, Dewsbury Hall, Salah, Bruno, Paquetá, Pedro, Mateta and Gyökeres. Yeah, it's a good wildcard. Would I change anything? If I was wildcarding, I would have one of Raya or Gabriel in there. Virgil's all right. I think I'd rather an Arsenal defender, but yeah, I think Virgil's fine actually. I wouldn't definitely say change that. So you've got Dewsbury Hall, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. So he's your 8th attacker. Yeah, good wild card. Can't really think of much to suggest a change. I'd have Riot over Sanchez, but you're gonna have to find 0.5 somewhere. That's the problem. No, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's a good team. Nice team, Simon. Start Goodmanson or Wood? I think you have to start Wood. I know he's got Arsenal away, but he's on pens. He's their main man. Gotta go Wood. Not the end of the world. What did I get to? I think it was Anton, as he said, is it worth a -4 to go Palmer and Gw to Rodgers and Gyökeres? From -4. It's so hard to answer this one because we don't know if Palmer's definitely going to start or not. Like, if Palmer was starting, I would say don't do that. I'm guessing you can't afford Gakpo, Anton? Or can you? Like, if you can afford Gakpo, then that's worth a -4. But Rodgers, I'm not so keen on. Is there any other 7 mil 6.5s though? You've already got Gakpo and Semenyo. Okay. I think I would reluctantly do that. Just because Gw might not start, Palmer might not start. It's just quite high risk. I probably would do that, yeah. Just trying to think if there's another like 7 mil or a 6.5 that I'd rather have over Rodgers, because I've not been convinced by Rodgers at all. Like, he's a bit of a concern in my team. He's probably the weakest point right now. Who else is there? Like Enzo potentially, if you're not on, because you're selling to Chelsea. I think I like Enzo more. And Maresca said something interesting about. He's like definitely an attacking player for me now, and he definitely has improved his game in terms of goal scoring. I think I like Enzo more than Rodgers. I mean, last game he got 1 goal, 1 assist. The game before that he got 1 goal, 1 assist. Rodgers has not looked convincing, and Enzo's cheaper. I think I'd rather go Enzo, and then you still got a Chelsea attacker. Yeah, I would do that. This is the annoying thing for me because I'm looking to buy Haaland and Palmer in Gameweek 6. But that gets me onto triple Chelsea because of Gw. And I need to buy a midfielder under 7 mil as part of that. And Enzo would probably be the one, but I can't do it because I'll be tripled up because of Gw going back to Chelsea. Semenyo instead of Rodgers. He said he had Gakpo and Semenyo, I think. C-Mac, thanks for the super chat. Says, can you rate my wildcard? Raya Munoz, Livramento, Anderson, Salah, Semenyo, King, Reinders, Mateta, João Pedro, and Haaland. Benches Dubravka, Senesi, Paquetá, and Rodon. So I did a wildcard draft this week, and I had Salah and not Haaland, with a view to rolling a Gameweek 5 and then switching them back. It might just about work having both, but it does eat up so much money. That's the problem. It's a good team though. So Salah, Semenyo, King, Reinders, and you've got Paquetá on the bench. Okay. I think I'll probably go Goodmanson over Rodon. But that's just like, there's nothing in it really. Yeah, nice team. I think for a Salah and Haaland draft, that's, yeah, literally the best you can do. I'd personally go Salah, no Haaland, and then switch them in Game Week 6. And that lets you go for some spicy picks like, you know, Gakpo potentially. But yeah, nice team. If you want to go Salah and Haaland, that's the one. I think I'm a bit behind on chat, sorry. John Allen, thanks for the 21 months. Is Share on pens for Newcastle now? Nah, surely it's Waltermada. I don't know what his pen record is, but it's got to be Waltermada, isn't it? Has he taken them before? Waltermada pen record. He scored 15. Nah, there's no way he shares on them. I saw Ross tweeted the Newcastle lineup, but it didn't have Share starting, and he said that was a leak. I don't know how reliable it is, but like I saw that and I thought that was quite interesting. No Share. Not sure what the reason would be though. It's quite unusual not to have him in the team. Mac, thanks for the 1 year. He says King in for a Dingra this week and play King. Oh, is King an upgrade on the Dingra this week? I feel like that's pretty sideways, Mac. I don't think I would do that for a free transfer. No, I wouldn't do that. I would just stick out with a Dingra. And then maybe you could go like Anderson, Gameweek 5, when they've got a couple of nice fixtures. Or maybe you can afford like 2 moves in one to upgrade a Dingra to someone more expensive. Strong this game says, hi mate, thoughts on triple captain Salah this week? Yeah, we're just talking about that. I would save it. Gameweek 6, Haaland's got Burnley home. Gameweek 13, Salah's got Sunderland home. I think those are better options. And also, it's not like Salah's been ripping it up. Like, if Salah was the top scoring player or he'd hauled like 2 out of the first 3 Gameweeks, it'd be a different conversation. But, yeah, not for me. I'm saving it. So, have you taken any hits this season? 80% none, 15% -4, 5% -8. Stick a new poll up. Who is your captain? Salah, Haaland. Who else is there? Mateta and other. Poll is up. Thank you everyone that's here for this deadline stream as well. We're about half an hour in. If you're enjoying the stream, do hit like below and hit subscribe. It's completely free and you can always change your mind about subscribing if you don't like the future streams or videos. But yeah, I make FPL videos, if you didn't know, pretty much every day. So I'll do one tomorrow. Next week I'll have loads coming. So yeah, thank you for being here. Simon says, thanks mate, wish you all the best. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate your support. Yeah, sorry I missed the message for a second there. Thanks again, Simon. CFJW says, Juve, Palmer, Strand, Larson, De Van Dijk, Semenyo and Mateta with 3 free transfers. I like that. Have you got Gakpo? I actually think I like Gakpo even more than Semenyo right now. Which might be a hot take. Would you agree with that or not? Gakpo over Semenyo. Again, just like looking at that Liverpool quote, I just feel like he's safe for a while. And he's got Burnley. And then he's got Everton home as well. I just interpret that quote as Gakpo's safe for a while still. Playing for a significantly better attack. And he's done really well. It's not like Semenyo's done significantly better. I'd say they've done about the same the opening few weeks. So I think Gakpo is really going under the radar. So if you haven't got him, I'd say Gakpo over Semenyo. Other than that, looks good. Nice moves. Yeah, I would do that. Andreas, thanks for the 43 months. Says, 8 Nori, Solanke and Saka and 2 free transfers. What I prioritise? Wow. Well, I mean, they're all injured, aren't they, for a while? So I think you're nearing wildcard territory, Andreas. Because you can wildcard and carry the 2 transfers forward and fix 3 issues. I'd be tempted to wildcard. I don't know your full team though, but I'd be tempted to wildcard if you've got 8 Norrie, Solanke and Saka. 8 Norrie's out for 5 weeks. Solanke's out for a while and he looks second choice. Maybe third choice behind Richarlison and Mwani. Saka's out for a while, don't know how long. And you've got 2 transfers. I would consider wildcard him. But if I had to prioritise, it'd be like, I don't know what you can afford, like Saka to Gakpo, Solanke to Haaland. I don't know if you can afford something like that. Probably not. Or Solanke to Mateta, Saka to Gakpo. Khalid says, sell or bench Strand Larson. Depends how much money you've got in the bank, Khalid. Like, if you can upgrade him to Mateta, Gyökeres, do it. But in terms of 6.5 mil and under forwards, there's really like none. Thiago maybe, but I don't really like Brentford and Thiago right now. Like, he's okay. Yeah, Saka's back in 2 weeks. Okay. I'd still consider wildcarding though. Like, he might come off the bench in 2 weeks, first game back as well, you know. So yeah, it depends what you can do with him, Khalid. If you can upgrade him, it's worth it. Mark, thanks for the super chat. It says, I've currently got Sanchez, Gabriel, Cucurella, Porro, Semenyo, Bruno, Sarr out injured. Hang on, Sarr out injured. Salah, Reinders, Gyökeres, Wood, and the benches Dubravka, Stev, Dorgu, and Gu. What transfers do you recommend with 2 free transfers? How much have you got in the bank, Mark? Like, overall, your team's in really good shape. It's just, yeah, the Sarr injury. One option, you could do Dorgu to Richards. I quite like that. But how much have you got in the bank? Let me know, Mark. Because obviously selling Sarr is an option. I think Sarr to Enzo is an underrated move. Are you tripled up though? Gu, Sanchez, Cucurella. You are, so you can't do that. You got 2 free as well. Just checking if Mark said. Let me know, Mark Rendell, how much money have you got in the bank? That is the question. Matthew, thanks for 35 months. I'll come back to that in a second, Mark. Once you've said how much you got in the bank. Matthew said, thanks for the 35 months. He says, start to Kuiper or Juve. What's Brighton's fixture? I actually can't even remember who they've got. What we'll do, actually, let's just look at the pure clean sheet odds. They've got Bournemouth away. Newcastle at the top, 46%. Wow. Brighton, 20%. Juve, 19%. But Juve is obviously significantly more attacking. And he's got the home fixture. Very close, that one. I hate to say it because I've got double Spurs defence, but I would start Juve. When it's that close and he's significantly more attacking, I'd play the guy who's more attacking and he's got the home fixture. I'd start Juve. Never heard back from Mark on the money in the bank. This is from FPL.page, by the way, if anyone wants to use the tools I've got on there. FPL Focal in the App Store. Who went up last night? Grealish. Timber went up. Anyone notable go down? Not really. So many price changes this season, feels like, compared to past seasons. I don't know if that's true, but some of the price falls have been an absolute massacre. Like, look at that. All in one night. So yeah, Mark, let's think what to do here. I'd actually consider Wood to Mateta. And then your defence is Gabriel, Cucurella, Porro, so that's fine. Tricky one, this. Because if you don't sell Sarr, then you're going to have to play Stev or Dorgu. Or Gu. Just really depends how much you got in the bank. Like, if you can afford Gakpo, do Sarr to Gakpo. And if you've got like 0.5, then you go Dorgu to Lacroix. But it's hard to answer without knowing what you've got in the bank. And he never said how much he has in the bank. I'm still looking. Yeah, I'd probably just do Wood to Mateta, Dorgu to Lacroix if you can afford him. Otherwise, Senesi. Or if you're planning to wildcard Gameweek 6, then get Richards over Senesi as a 2-week pick. Joshua says, best Palmer and Strand Larsen replacements. I would say Palmer replacements, Gakpo and Bruno. Strand Larsen replacements, Mateta. These are all going to cost more. Mateta, Gyökeres, João Pedro, in that order. Would you captain Mateta? Probably not, no. Maybe Vice if I had him, but I don't think I would captain. Just because they've got Saar out, they've got Eze out. I'd probably not go there for captaincy personally, but he could do well still. Yash says, Watkins to Ekatike, Rogers to Gakpo, Williams to Munoz, Livramento Lacroix, 1 free transfer. Do I use 1 free transfer or take a -4 to get 2 of the moves? I would prioritise Williams if you're having to start him. If you can afford Williams to Munoz, I would do that. Those are higher priority than Watkins or Rogers, in my opinion. So I would just do that, Williams to Munoz, and not take the -4. My Omar says, Oscar, I've got 1 free transfer and I've got Sarah Strand Larson, roll and play Wood plus Murillo. Depends how much you got in the bank, Mo. Again, like if you can afford a good upgrade on Sarr, you know, like a Gakpo, for example, or a Semenyo, or, you know, Mateta in for Strand Larson, then consider that. I would probably do Murillo to Munoz if you haven't got Munoz, Mo. Assuming you can't afford to sell Sarr. If you can, I'd go Sarr to Gakpo or Sarr to Semenyo. I like Gakpo slightly more. If you haven't got that kind of money, then just do Murillo to Munoz. Alexander, thanks for the super chat as well. And also Gus Tiernan says, morning, Watkins / Wood to João Pedro or Wan-Bissaka to Munoz. Have you got Mateta, Gus? I would do Wood to Mateta over João Pedro if I was selling Wood. But I would just go Wan-Bissaka to Munoz. I think the second one's better. That's what I would do there. Xavi Simons captain. That's a bit rogue. Don't know about that. What's the captain widget on the app saying? Let's have a look. Salah 5 stars, Haaland 3, Gyökeres 2, Munoz and Mateta on 1. So yeah, Munoz is a really nice transfer in this week. He's even on the captaincy matrix. I know it's just 1 star, but that's how high he's projected this week. James, thanks for becoming an FPL Focal member as well. Thank you very much, James. Appreciate your support, mate. Thanks for that. FPL Maniac as well. Thanks for the super sticker as that. Thank you, FPL Maniac and James. Munoz captain. You know what? It's one of those. I'll never captain a defender because if that clean sheet's wiped, then you're basically screwed. But if he keeps a clean sheet, maybe gets a lucky goal, that's a 15-pointer or 30 as captain. Any big lineup news this morning? I saw 8 Noris out for 5 weeks. Not really. There's some team news on the left, and Dyer's a concern. Sarr's out for 2 games. Binder's going to start, not the new guy, Lamens, I think his name is. Strand Larsen's injured. Palmer trained partially. Visser's out, so Walter Marder will start. And he'll go with Walter Marder for his debut. I'm not tempted myself, but I've seen a few Walter Marders on free hits especially. Rogers out for Gakpo. Yeah, I like that, Turtle. Xavi Simons or Kudus in for Sarr. With new players that haven't played in the Prem and aren't proven in the Prem, I always like to wait and see how they get on generally. He's one of those. He could be excellent from the get-go, but I think I'd rather Kudus. I just give him a chance to prove himself and then consider him. Brought in Chalobah. Yeah, my Chelsea defence has been good. 3rd best for XGC this season. 2 clean sheets, obviously. Probably should have been 1. I had a comment this week actually saying, no, it should have been none because of the Eze free kick in Gameweek 1. But obviously that King one, that got ruled out, and then PGMOL said, we made a mistake there. So, yeah, probably should have been 1 clean sheet, but can't complain as a Sanchez owner. Matthew says, Ekatike to Mateta, De Kuyper to Munoz, 2 free transfers. I wouldn't sell Ekatike. Can you afford to buy Munoz without selling Ekatike? I can't remember how much Ekatike is compared to Mateta though. Do you have to make both moves to fund that? Otherwise, I'd probably just do De Kuiper to Lacroix and give Ekitike a couple more games. I think Ekitike will start the next 2. You can't afford it. Can you afford De Kuiper to Lacroix and then save your second transfer? Can you show a free hit? Yeah, we can try and do a free hit. I'm happy to give that a go. The question is, do you go Haaland and Salah on a free hit, or just one or the other? Haaland. Probably have to have King. Who would the third forward be? Ekitike is so expensive though. Captain Ekitike, I probably wouldn't go that far. I don't hate it, but I don't think I'd do that. I'm just not sure who the third forward would be. Is Evan Nilsson a bit boring? The problem is if you go Haaland and Salah, it's like almost impossible to afford all the players you want. Like, I feel like you'd have to... Trying to think of a... What's that? Ah, this is hard, you know. I will get rid of Murillo and have Gabriel, I think. Who would I have in goal? You could go Alisson. But that leaves 2.9 mil in the bank. You've got to have Munoz as well. I don't know. It's tricky to have both Haaland and Salah. 4 mil defender, Reinildo. But that's 3.8 mil in the bank. So we're actually not far off. Maybe Enzo. And then go for a 4.5 forward. That's close. That's 0.2 mil minus. Something like that. And then that'd be a 3-5-2. But that's just what I've thrown together there. You could go Ekitike over Gyökeres. I think I would try and fit Haaland and Salah in if I was on a free hit. It's just about doable. That's quite close there. There's probably like a 3.9 mil defender you could use. Something along those lines. Kusi Asare is a new 4.5 mil forward. I think you actually have to have Gw to free up the money, because this is minus 0.2, but you guys might have more money in the bank than me. I don't know if there's any 3.9 mil keepers. But yeah, something like that. So you've got 0.8 mil in the bank. Hang on, let me go back up. We're waiting for you to let us know, Mark. Let me find it. So you had, okay, so Asar, 0.8 mil. So what's that? 7.3. Probably would do Dorgu to Lacroix is probably what I would do in your position. And then Lacroix starts over Sarr this week. Yeah, I think that's what I would do there. Yeah, I struggled to see something better. Wood's not great. You could do Wood to Mateta. But I probably wouldn't do that unless you were going to wildcard Gameweek 6. And obviously Wood's got a couple of nice games after Arsenal. But you could do that if you really wanted to play aggressive. Wood to Mateta, Dorgu to Lacroix. But I'd probably just do Dorgu to Lacroix and leave it at that if I were you. Thanks again, Mark. Right, where did I get to here? Dimitri says, would you sell Strand Larsen for a -4 or to risk starting and die? Your other bench is Milenkovic and Estev. Nothing in the bank. With nothing in the bank, I don't think I would do anything. Tricky one again, because we don't know like if Ndai's going to play. Moyes just said he's got a knock and he's a slight doubt. Like if I knew he was out, I would say take the -4 and sell Milenkovic for Munoz. There's no way you can go that with Strand Larsen that's worth the -4, but you can with Milenkovic. And the problem is Strand Larsen's out and Dyer's a doubt. I think I'd probably do it, Dimitri. I think I'd probably do Milenkovic to Munoz in your position. Because you've already got Strand Larsen out and Dyer might leave you 2 players down. You really don't want to be playing Milenkovic and Estev, so I would do Milenkovic to Munoz. Yeah, I would do that. Take the hit. Alexander says, I need to replace Marmoush. I've already got Semenyo, Salah, Gakpo and Reinders. If I get a 6.5mm mid or under, I can also go from Watkins to Haaland. Or I could spend more and upgrade Gw4. No, I like what you've got. I like your thinking with the first option, 6.5 and under, and then you can go Watkins to Haaland. I'm thinking a similar thing. So you can't afford a 6.6, like Enzo. Is that what you're saying? But what? Who even is there for 6.5? Paquetá, probably? You say you've already got Reinders as well? Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd have to be Paquetá. I think he might be your best option. Anyone else buying Paquetá this week? Yeah, if you can't afford Enzo or you're tripled up in Chelsea, then probably Paquetá is where I'd go. And then it leaves the door open for Watkins to Haaland, which is what I'm looking to do in Gameweek 6. You've bought him on the wild card. Yeah, I've seen him in quite a few drafts. Jay's not either. Okay. Blacksmith Gaming says, if you had Bowen and Tielemans and one free transfer, would you trade one of them? You plan to wildcard in Gameweek 6. Have you got Mateta, Blacksmith? If you wildcard in Gameweek 6, Mateta's the perfect 2-week pick. Sunderland home, and then is Everton away? Or West Ham away? I think it's West Ham away. If you haven't got Mateta, I would do that. Depends on money you've got in the bank as well. Like, if you can afford Tielemans to Gakpo and you've already got Mateta, then that's nice. Who else is there? Like, if you can afford Bowen to Gyökeres, that's really strong. Depends how much you've got in the bank, though. Stevie says, what I do with Strand Larsen, I can sell for 7 million or less. Or bench him and play Wood and do a double transfer next week to Mateta or Pedro. 7 mil or less. You could buy Evan Nilsson. I don't dislike the Evan Nilsson pick. I would consider that, Stevie. I think that's what I would do. Strand Larsen to Evan Nilsson. Because Mateta's not as appealing next week. You miss out on the best fixture. Do you play Wood though and go João Pedro? I probably would. Yeah, it's an annoying one, Stevie, but I think I'd play Wood because I think I'd rather have João Pedro from Gameweek 5. Just because Delap's out for about 10 game weeks in FPL terms. We're not going to see Delap till like December, potentially. I think he's expected to be back like the end of November, so he might start coming in start of December. So I just think when you think about that, João Pedro is such a nice long-term pick that I think you take the pain in your team this week, and longer term you probably benefit more, if that makes sense. You have to think of a longer term view in FPL, even though it means short-term pain. Short-term pain, long-term gain in FPL. That's what I've convinced myself anyway, rolling with Rodgers and Watkins. Gameweek 6, I'll be selling Watkins to Haaland. So short-term pain. Hey, maybe Watkins finally does something this game week. Maybe not. Hopefully the new signings help out a bit. Elliott, does he start? Probably. Don't know if Sancho will straight away. Maybe he will. So that's, yeah, I would just keep hold and buy João Pedro next week, Stevie. Chris says, happy Saturday. What to do with Cunha? If I had Cunha, I'd probably sell him for Gakpo, honestly. Mark says, hey Focal, love the channel, big fan, keep up the good work. Thank you, Mark, appreciate that. Thanks very much. Yeah, I think I'd sell Cunha. such an annoying pick, isn't it? You buy him for such a great fixture that he probably would have done well in, and he goes off injured early on. I reckon there's a good chance he starts, but I would sell him, I think, for Gakpo. Or Semenyo. Okay, says best 5 mil and below replacement for Aina. Lacroix, he's the standout, definitely. Lacroix. Senesi's nice, Richards is nice, but I'd say Lacroix's the one. Great for DCs. How big is the gap from Munoz to Lacroix? It's a pretty big gap. Munoz is basically a right winger. He could be even more advanced with Sarr injured as well. So it's worth the 0.5 million for sure. FPL Maniac says, am I playing too passive considering I've got Palmer and Strand Larsen in my starting 11? 3 free transfers. Also, in case I don't react, which benching order would you recommend between Gw, Williams and Esteve? I would stick with the order you've gone there on the bench, Maniac. I would sell Palmer, Strand Larsen with 3 free transfers, yeah. Like, surely you could do something like Palmer to Gakpo, Strand Larsen to Mateta. Or Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. Something like that just sounds really strong to me. There's no way you roll with Palmer and Strand Larsen. Doesn't make sense. You have to sell. You don't want to play Gw, you don't want to play Williams, you don't want to play Esteve. I would be using 2 of those free transfers to replace both of them, personally. Palmer has a decent chance of starting, don't get me wrong, but I think I wouldn't take the chance when that's your bench as well, and you can bring in some nice options with big upside. Hab says, what risks to Gakpo Mins over 5 game weeks, -4 for Ndai? I wouldn't sell Ndai for a hit, I don't think. I wouldn't sell him for a hit if I had him. But just based on that quote from Slot, I think he's alright for a while. And also the other question is, and let me know what you guys think. Does he become a rotation risk, or is he competing with Ekitike? Maybe competing is the wrong word. Isak's going to be the starter, so Ekitike will come off the bench. And who does Ekitike come off the bench for? Gakpo or Isak? Or do they rotate? Or do we see some matches Ekitike, striker, Isak left wing, for example? Isak can play down the left. Ekitike could as well, technically. I don't know how Slot's going to do it, but I just think there's a chance Gakpo's alright for a while. And if that's true, for that price, with those fixtures, I just think he's brilliant. They'll rotate with the Champions League coming. Yeah. It's just how does that rotation look is the big question. Nick says, I need the best defender for 2 weeks. I'm going to bench boost next week. And you already have Porro, Munoz, Milenkovic, Murillo. Also Cunha, Xavi or Semenyo. You really want Xavi. I would wait and see on Xavi. Personally, it's just how I play FPL. I don't tend to go for the unproven players until they've really shown some promise. Don't get me wrong. I'll like someone like Reinders. He was 5.5 mil, so I just thought it's low risk, he's cheap. And then Gyökeres, what changed there is Havertz out injured long term. Gyökeres confirmed on penalties. But he's not even played yet for Spurs, so I would wait and see personally. I'd rather Semenyo. Best defenders. And your bench booster next week. Maybe Senesi. Depends how much you've got. Game week 5, Villa have got Sunderland away. That's quite nice. That's not going to fit, is it? No. Maybe I'll just go do it on the old fixture ticker on the FPL page. Let's see, game week 5. Depends how much you've got in the bank as well. Senesi's got Newcastle home though, it's not great. But he's a good long-term pick, Senesi, that's the thing. I'd consider Senesi. Depends how much you have, though, in the bank. The Quad's nice. You could go double Palace defence, honestly. Anderson, one of those. I'd be tempted by Senesi just because he's a good long-term pick. Unless you're going to wildcard in Game Week 6 or something, in which case I would go for... maybe Konsa or Lacroix. Probably Lacroix. Fuck Mike says, hi mate, start Gudmundsson or Arias, thanks. What's Arias' minutes been like? Did he start last one? I'd always favour the attacker, to be honest with you. Has he actually started a game? 17, 55, 63, Newcastle. Yeah, I'd start Arias. Go for him. So, Captain Pole, 73% are on Salah, 16% Haaland, 4% Mateta, 6% other. Ayamide says, is it worth a -4 for Watkins to Mateta? Nah, not for a -4. Not for a hit. I've got him, and I'm not even doing it for a free transfer, let alone a hit. Morning, Oscar. Wishing you a good game. Love you. Thank you, send your lump, as always. Daniel Gumby says, I got double Forest defence, Sar and Strand Larsen injured. Free hit wildcard. I would wildcard, Daniel, in your situation. I would go for it. I think that's a tipping point there. When you've got double Forest defence, you've got Arsenal, you've got Sar injured, Strand Larsen injured. You've got a good hour still, Daniel. Stick the kettle on, make yourself a brew, and figure out a wild card. I think I would do it, honestly, in your situation. Josh says, start Grealish or Gabriel, you've got Raya. God, what's your team when Gabriel is a potential bench player? Is there no one else you can bench, Josh? I think it'd have to be Gabriel. Sorry, it'd have to be Grealish and bench Gabriel. Got a strong team. Gw4 or Lacroix. If you can afford either, Elia, Lacroix. I think he's worth a 0.5 just because he's so good for DCs. Dirk says, what are you doing this week? Do you roll the transfer? Yeah, I'm going to be rolling. Unless there's some staggering leak that comes near the deadline, I'll be rolling. I've started getting sent leaks from Liverpool leaks. So I'm going to keep an eye on that as well, because that's going to be very useful in the coming weeks. Oh, he's asked for help with his team. I need to help him out quick. So he's got Sar and he's got Wood. What was that on the bench? Murillo. Murillo to Munoz. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, he's been sending like Liverpool league lineups, and I missed the last few, and he's been right every time. So I feel like that's going to be really useful in the coming weeks. So I can share those whenever I get them, because obviously as Isak comes into the picture, especially those of us that have got Gakpo, Ekitike, or considering Isak, you know, maybe people will be looking at Kirkes, those sorts of players, so that could be useful information. So anyway, yeah, anything that I hear from him in the coming weeks, I'll let you guys know straight away. Not actually, have we used the leaks widget yet? Bottom left. Don't think we have this season. Maybe once. The leaks seem to have dried up a bit. What do you guys think of leaks? Do you like them in FPL, or do you hate the leaks? Like, on the one hand, they give those of you that are like tuning into these streams and active on FPL Twitter, they do give you an edge over more casual managers that don't follow the leaks. That could help benefit your team. They don't always help you though. Sometimes they can hurt your team. And some people, some of you even watching right now, are tuned in from a time zone where it's difficult to watch all these streams all the time. You know, if you're tuned in from America right now, it's the early hours there. And therefore, there might be weeks where you're just asleep and you miss leaks. So it is an unfair edge. Clint says, do you think Game Week 7 would be good for the free hit chip. Gameweek 6 looks better, Clint. I would consider it then for Man City home to Burnley. Do you think clubs use FPL leaks or have their own sources or don't care? That's a great question. I reckon clubs aren't aware of FPL leaks for the most part. I don't think they're aware of FPL leaks. Might be wrong. Maybe they've got their own inside sources. 5 AM there, Christopher. Damn. Fair play. D10 and 31 also says 5 AM there. Have you got up really early or have you done an all-nighter? What are your plans, Focal? I'm looking to roll this week. 3 PM in South Asia. So in South Asia, these morning deadlines are perfect for you. It's the evening ones, right, that are an absolute killer there. Scrio says it's 2 AM here, might die. Go to bed if you're feeling tired. You're probably not going to miss too much. They're part of the 5 AM club. There's a few people up. Oh, he says really early. He's got. Oh, that is really, really early on a Saturday as well. Are you just one of those that wakes up really early, or are you up early for a certain reason? Random question. What time do you guys normally wake up? If you have nothing to get up for, ignore work. Like say on a Saturday, if you don't work Saturdays, or if you've got nothing to get up for, what's your natural body clock? When do you wake up? When I was younger, mine was shocking. Like, I genuinely used to sometimes wake up at like midday. Like, I used to go to bed really late and I'd wake up super late. 10:30, 9, 7 AM. It's different now because now that I work, my body clock has like moved back to earlier. But back in the day, like when I was at uni and that sort of thing, I would wake up sometimes midday, sometimes 1 PM if I was up really late, playing like Football Manager with my mate. We used to do Football Manager saves and we would stay up till like as long as we could, 4 AM, 5 AM, go to bed, wake up at like 1 PM and then do it all again the next day. 5:20 AM internal clock, damn. 6:30 in the morning every day. Alright, and when you get up then, whatever hours you guys just said, what do you normally have in the morning for breakfast? Do you have like a big one to start your day, or do you skip it, or do you have something small? The reason I ask is I always just have we're going on a proper tangent here, non-FPL. So sorry if you're here for FPL, but like every morning I wake up and I just have a banana and that's it until lunchtime. But like my girlfriend, for example, she'll have a bigger breakfast. You just skip it. Toast and water. You fast until midday. Just a coffee. Coffee and toast. Oh, speaking of toast. Oh, maybe I shouldn't get up because Teddy's asleep in my lap. I did loads of homemade jam recently. And fudge. And the label's so good. But I'll have to show you later because Ted's asleep on my lap right now. You can't quite see. Look. Bro's like, do you mind? Oh no, he's moving now. Sorry, Ted. He's been there the whole time while I've been live. So I ruled out for 2 weeks, yeah. Oh, the Teddy emoji. I forgot about that. That's my sleep paralysis demon. Been a long international break to end up producing jam. Well, this is it. My work schedule's so weird. Like I work, I'm working right now on the weekend technically. It doesn't feel like work because I just love doing these streams and I love making FPL videos. But it's kind of like, like teachers that get half term off because school's off for a week or off for 2 weeks. It's kind of like that schedule. Like 7 days a week pretty much I do FPL content of some sort. But then you get the summer off, so it's a strange schedule. What's the transfer glitch on the app? I've not seen that. I don't know about that. Sorry, can't help you with that. Love and appreciation for the videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Tyler. Gyökeres captain. I don't hate it, but I was saying to someone last night, I'm happy to just have him in my team as my vice. I'm still pretty settled on Salah captain. Toast is the biggest waste of calories going. Tasty though. Are you rolling this week? I am, yeah, I'm rolling. That's my plan. It'd have to take some crazy last minute leak for me to change that. We've got 2,000 watching. Thank you all for being here off the back of the international break. Do hit like on the stream if you're liking it, or dislike this stream if you're disliking it, and hit subscribe below. Appreciate you all being here. It's good to have FPL back, isn't it? Have you seen today's fixtures? My days, today's so stacked. We've got Arsenal Forest first. We've got 5 3 PM games. Then West Ham Spurs, Brentford Chelsea. So we've got 8 games on today. And then tomorrow we've got Burnley Liverpool and the Manchester Derby. It's a stacked weekend of FPL. Can't wait. But you know what? Last game week I said can't wait on the Sunday. Because I had Reinders, I had what did I have? Murillo. I had Salah, Gakpo, Gyökeres, Rodgers, Watkins. So I was like, I can't wait for this Sunday. No returns from any of those players. 7 players across those 4 games. So maybe I should say I can wait. I can wait for today's games. I'm happy to wait. Josh says, I did that one. It was Scythe Gaming and Slap It for Retail. Thank you both for becoming members. Appreciate your support. Thanks very much for that, guys. Nick G says, -4 to get a Forest defender out of my 11 today. From -4. Probably not. Probably wouldn't do it. It's hard to know about seeing your whole team, but I probably wouldn't do that, Nick. If I was going to sell a Forest defender, it would be Munoz. He's the only one I would take a hit, but otherwise I wouldn't. I don't think I would do it though. I think you just got to take that one on the chin, because you'd need Munoz to keep a clean sheet or score to repay the hit, and you'd need Forest defender to concede. How we doing, British? Good to see you, mate. Shout out to British. Always shows up in the comments on my videos, and he's on the streams as well. Probably not for a hit, Nick. It's very close, that one. I'd say like 60% no, 40% yes. But I'd say I wouldn't do it if it was me. Same team as me, same team as mine, but you've got Anderson and you're starting Murillo. So Anderson over Reinders and you're starting Murillo. Probably wouldn't do it, Nick. I don't hate Munoz from -4 when you have to start a Forest defender this week, but that's literally the only one I would consider. There's no one else. But yeah, if it was me, I'd play boring and not do it. But the exciting thing to do is to make the move, given it's Sunderland home as well. And he's probably going to be playing even more advanced right wing. Depends on your risk tolerance there. I'm the sort of manager that just wouldn't do that. But that's quite boring, isn't it? Simon said, thanks for the 10 months. Says, hi Oscar, best Arsenal defender. I would go Gabriel. I think he's easily the best one. Saliba's got a chance of playing today, but yeah, Gabriel's the one. I personally, despite how well they've done, I probably wouldn't get Timber or Calafiori. Just because I still don't think they're completely nailed. There's going to be the odd game where Lewis Skelly starts left back, White comes in at right back potentially. It might be the case that White just is used in Champions League and that's it, but yeah, I'd just go Gabriel, honestly. That's my plan, if I can get him in Gameweek 7. But I think he's nice this week as well. Amy Pans, 2 free transfers, 3.8 mil in the bank. Sanchez, Porro, Van de Ven, Murillo, Bruno, Salah, Kudu, Sarr, Reinders, Watkins, Pedro, Dubravka, Esteve, Wan-Bissaka, Sarr out, I guess. Yeah, I think Sarr to Gakpo. Semenyo also works nice. Either of those. I feel like I've recommended Gakpo a lot on this stream, and my head's on the line here if he blanks against Burnley. I think he's pretty safe for the next couple or so games, and it's such good fixtures. At that price as well. Does anyone agree on Gakpo? What's his ownership? Oh, it's 18.7. That's higher than I thought. I guess because he smashed it the first couple games, didn't he? 7-10, blanked against Arsenal. Who do you reckon the top scoring player this game week is then? Guesses in the chat. Top scoring player. Game week 4. It was Gw4 in game week 3. No one got him. Best kept secret, he says. I'm going to go Munoz. Rodgers, mate, if it's Rodgers, I will lose it. Gw4, Munoz, Grealish, Haaland hat-trick. I think Haaland's is probably a more sensible guess. Yeah, he's 18% now. Gw4 again. Imagine. It's so hard to predict King of the Game Week. You think like, oh, Salah to Burnley or Haaland Manchester Derby, but like last game week it was Gw4 scoring a banger from outside the box, keeping a clean sheet. 3 bonus, 15-pointer. Well, Tamada, that's a good shout. Good shout. Verts. Yeah, is anyone keeping Verts? Surely you keep him for Burnley. I know people have been selling, but you got to keep. How many transfers out is he on? 410,000 have sold him. 1.2 million have sold. 1.3 million have sold Palmer. And then Cunha, Wood, Watkins, Aït-Nouri, Saliba, Aina. Verts, Cherky, Q. Oh my god, if Q drops again to 4-3. Reinders. Oof. Oh yeah, we need to look at the scout selection as well. Let me know how many players have you got. Oh, let me catch up on Super Chat first actually. Yeah, so Amy, I would do Sarr to Gakpo. C-Flex says Palmer and Gw to Semenyo Mateta, or Strand Larson and Porro / Murillo to Mateta and Gw4, or roll and pray that Palmer and Gw start. No, I'd do the first one, C-Flex. I prefer the first one. I like Gakpo even more than Semenyo. More Gakpo propaganda. I would go Gakpo and Mateta unless you've got Gakpo already, and sell Palmer and Gw. Yeah, I would do that. Kip says double Palace or double Arsenal defence on a free hit. By the way, I should just say on Palmer, I think there's actually a good chance he starts. But like, you're in a situation where you've got like Strand Larson as well, you've got Gw. It's just you've got too many risks, and you have to manage the risks in FPL. And really, you should prioritise the risks. Like game week 3, I ended up selling Strand Larson, and that's ended up being quite good. Although Gyökeres has done nothing, that's been quite good in the end because he's out again for this game week. Because I got rid of the problems in my team. I sold Palmer, he was a problem then. I sold Strand Larson, he was a problem. You have to keep prioritising the problems, otherwise it can catch up with you. So that's what I would do. Kip says double Palace or double Arsenal defence on a free hit. What's the clean sheet odds saying? Oh, it's literally dead even tied. I'd probably say Arsenal if I was picking either. If you can afford it, double Arsenal defence on the free hit. I just trust Arsenal a lot more than I trust Palace. Peter Pumpkin Eater, thank you very much for the super chat as well. And Josh says, well, Tamada for João Pedro / Mateta, you're a Toon fan. No, I wouldn't, Josh. I wouldn't do it. Neither of those need to be sold. João Pedro and Mateta are great. I know like you're a Toon fan, but I wouldn't do that. Vista could be back, like Game Week 5 as well, and then suddenly they're competing. Whereas João Pedro and Mateta are nailed on. There is a small chance João Pedro doesn't start this game based on what Maresca was saying, but I wouldn't be selling him. Like, Delap's out till potentially the start of December, so he's a nice long-term pick. That's like 10 game weeks. Lewis says, Reinders, Harvey Elliott or Enzo on a wild card. I actually think Enzo out of those three, but he is a million more, so it depends on what you can do with a million, Lewis. But yeah, Enzo's better. He's the best out of those three. Yeah, we'll have to see how Elliott gets on. I think he's dropped to 5-4, hasn't he? So he could be an interesting one, but Enzo, I would say. Josh says, I'm on a free hit, my bad. Oh, on a free hit, right. Yeah, on a free hit, I'd have him over João Pedro. But I'd have Gyökeres over João Pedro and Walter Mada. But you know what? Like, you're on a free hit. You're a Newcastle fan. It's for 1 week. Wissa's out, so he will start. He has to start. You can do worse on a free hit for sure. If it was me, I would have Mateta and Gyökeres. And Haaland if you can afford him, but that's like a lot of money. But yeah, why not on a free hit? If you're a Newcastle fan as well. Like imagine he starts and scores for you. You're watching a game, you're cheering your team on, and he scores for your team. That's like the absolute dream. Charlie Hinn says, what do you reckon to Gakpo captain over Salah? Oh, it's one of those, like, he's been outscoring him, Gakpo, but I can't bring myself to captain Gakpo over Salah. Especially when his minutes feel a bit more ropey. So, not for me. I don't hate it. Like, if Gakpo keeps playing 90, he's very close to Salah, but there's always the penalties thing with Salah as well. All it takes is someone to win a penalty, and Salah could have a quiet game, and he goes from 2 to 5 points plus potential bonus. Sorry, 2 to 7 points. Mark says, sorry for joining late. I just finished watching the Springboks decimate the All Blacks. The best sub 5 mil defender. He's stuck between Byrne or Senesi. Currently playing Vanderman and Gueye, Milenkovic and Williams benched. I'd go Lacroix. Are you saying 5 mil and under, Mark? I'd go Lacroix. Who are you selling though? Are you selling Williams? I'd rather do Milenkovic than Munoz. If I've got Milenkovic and Williams on the bench and I want to sell one because they've got Arsenal, I'm selling Milenkovic and Munoz over Williams to Lacroix. Just because Munoz is such a higher upside pick. Like, he's going to be playing right wing. Potentially out of position this game. Or even if he's in right wing back, he plays like a right winger anyway. He gets so far forward. He's going to have to be an outlet for them because of Sarr being out. So I would be going Milenkovic to Munoz, Mark. Marcus, thanks for 37 months, says Sarr to Semenyo, Porro to Lacroix for a -4. Nah, you don't need to sell Porro for a hit. He has become a little bit of a worry, Porro. He went off early last game, didn't he? I think Udogie was back. 70 minutes. He did hit DCs, but not for a -4. Just do Sarr to Semenyo. Or do you have to sell Porro to fund it? I just wouldn't want to sell Porro, though, for a hit. Who wins in a 1v1? Dexter, Morgan or Heisenberg? Got to be Dexter. He's too smart. Has anyone been watching Dexter Resurrection? I can't believe how good it is. I genuinely can't believe how good it was. Best comeback in TV history, that. I loved the original Dexter. It fell off a bit towards the end, but Resurrection's been easily the best show this year for me. I didn't expect it to be so good. When you look it up on IMDb as well, they had like a crazy run of like 6 episodes in a row with over a 9.0 rating. No spoilers, I won't spoil anything. I'm just saying it's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Right, I've missed a few messages there. What did Marcus say? You can't afford Semenyo. Is there nothing else you can do in your team, Marcus? I don't know if you've got like Forest defenders. For a -4, it's not bad. I'd rather Gakpo over Semenyo. But I'm not keen on it for a hit. I'd rather do like... I don't know if you've got a Forest defender, but I'd rather just buy Gw4 with Williams or Milenkovic, Murillo to Munoz or something like that. If it's Gakpo, I think that's alright for a hit just about, but I'm not a massive fan of selling Porro. But yeah, he could become a problem, I suppose. And if that's the only way to fund it, I kind of get it. Did it not get cancelled? No, that's something else. I think there was a couple of reboots, wasn't there? I think there was a different one when it was like, when he was young. Yeah, Nico. I'd just do Nico to Gw4. It's alright for a hit, but I'd rather just save the hit and sell Nico for Gw4. MK says, Cunha, Strand Larsen, Saka in the team. Wildcard off free hit of 1 free transfer. I would wildcard MK, I think. I think that's just about a tipping point there to wildcard. You've got like 3 potential issues, and you've only got 1 transfer. Morning, JMW. Yeah, if I had like 3 problems like that, I would be wildcarding. And also you can make upgrades to your team for this week elsewhere. Yeah, I think I'd wildcard. That'd be like a tipping point for me. Oliver says, Dorgu to Senesi or Dorgu and Sarr to Munoz and Paqueta -4. Depends a bit on your chip strategy, Oliver. I don't know if you've thought about it yet, but a lot of people are looking at wildcard 6 because there's a really big fixture swing. And if I was going to wildcard 6, I would just go Dorgu to Richards from Palace instead. Sunderland home, West Ham away. Slightly better than Senesi's fixtures. Longer term, Senesi's better though, so it depends on that. Dorgu and Sarr to Munoz and Paqueta -4. I don't dislike that actually. If you're not wildcarding, I would do the -4 because Dorgu's a problem. He's going to be in and out of the team potentially, isn't he? So I would sell Dorgu and Sarr for Munoz. Is there a better one than Paqueta? Probably not for that price. I think for a -4, that's alright. If you're not wildcarding Gameweek 6. Otherwise, I wouldn't take a hit just for 2 weeks, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I'll go with the second option. Unless you're looking to wildcard, then just go Richards. Kay says, would you do Bruno Salah to... Hang on. Bruno to Salah and Aina to Gw4 for a -4. What's this question? Bruno and Salah to Aina and Gw4 for a -4. I don't understand that one. I mean, Aina to Gw4 for a -4. If you have to start Aina, then it has to be done, really. What do you think of Harvey Elliott? FPL Villain predicts him to start. Yeah, FPL Villain's good for predictions on Villa. Yeah, he's a wait and see for me. Interesting price, 5.4. Song name. This is Boxer Meet Canvas by Wilding. It's my cousin, this song. Mark says, I like Gw4, but I've got Henderson and Guehi playing. Triple defence seems too much. I'm moving Wan-Bissaka to the 5mm defender. I'm keeping double Forest defence for the next 2 game weeks. Just trying to think of what other defenders there are for 5mm this week then. Why is the music stopped? Oh, it's no focal track now. Right, who else is there? You could go like... Yeah, you could go for a Newcastle defender like Burn. Have you looked at Burn? Let me get chat back up. What was your original team? I'm losing track of chat here. So it was best 5... Yeah, I think Burn. I think you got it right with Burn. Burn or Livramento? I would say Burn. God, I'm really behind on chat. Bear with me now. Yeah, it'd have to be Burn. Ross Wheeler says Fulkrug and Juve and Palmer to Gakpo, Mateta and Gw4. Yeah, brilliant moves. All three make perfect sense to me. Do it, Ross. Nice moves. I have nothing to add to that. Ricardo says, hi Oscar, I need quick advice this game week. You've got 4 Chelsea players. You've got 4 Chelsea players. Would you move Cucurella or Gw? And you've got 1 transfer. Oh, that Gw thing's so annoying, isn't it? To like put you on 4 Chelsea like that. And it's like a problem for me as well because it blocks Enzo as a potential option in a couple of weeks' time. Porro, Murillo, Esteve, Gudmundsson, Sanchez, João Pedro, Watkins. The mids are like mine, Kudus instead of Gakpo. Tempted to roll, but 4 Chelsea in fixtures make it rough. So you got Porro. So you're starting Murillo and Esteve. Is that what you're saying? Oh, that's such a nightmare, isn't it? Because where do you go with Gw? You don't want to sell Cucurella. Tricky one, this. You need 2 transfers to sell Gw. Or lots of money in the bank to sell Gw. That's the problem. You're looking at a -4 when you don't really need it. I don't know if you'd gain this week from it. 2.2 mil on the bank, so you can go to no one really, like Thiago. That's such a head scratcher, this one, you know. I think you'd probably roll. I think you'd probably have to roll. Roll or wildcard, I think, are your 2 options. Because obviously, on the other hand, you've got Murillo against Arsenal, Esteve against Liverpool, Gudmundsson. Is that Sanchez the keeper? I think I'd roll. I think you've got it right. You roll or wildcard. Those are your options. I mean, you'll have a lot more flexibility next week to sort out the quadruple Chelsea. Yeah, I think roll or wildcard are your only 2 options there. I probably would roll if I was in that situation. Karolev says, on a free hit, Raya, Gabriel, Livramento, Munoz, Gw4, Salah, Gakpo, Semenyo, Gyökeres, Mateta, Ekitike. Any changes? Mateta to Pedro given EO as a hedge. Nah, chase the upside on a free hit. Mateta's better than João Pedro this week. He's got Sunderland home at the end of the day. Yeah, nice team. Don't really have any changes to suggest, honestly. It's just a really nice pick team. Looks good to go. Leave it as is. I would definitely have Mateta over João Pedro on a free hit. Alexander says, Richarlison or Kudus for a 2-week pump. For 2 weeks, I would rather Mateta over Richarlison if you're picking a striker. And if you're picking a midfielder, Gakpo over Kudus. But I don't know if you can afford either. Different price points. I'd rather Kudus over Richarlison 2-week punt just because of the minutes. But yeah, don't mind that. Swayno says Kudus / Reinders in for Sar or roll. I've got Ndoye. I would say, yeah, Reinders. Reinders in for Sar. You got to prioritise Sar. I know Ndoye was annoying coming off just before 60, I think, last match. But yeah, you got to sell Sar. Sar to Reinders. Mark says Sar to Semenyo or Sar to Paquetá and Gw to Waltemada -4. You've got Watkins and João Pedro ready. Would you bench Paquetá and play Waltemada? Nah, I would just do Sar to Semenyo or Gakpo, Mark. I like Gakpo slightly more than Semenyo. Unless you've already wildcarded, then Semenyo's safer longer term. So yeah, Sar to Semenyo. Go with the first option, Mark. If you've not wildcarded yet, I think Gakpo's even better than Semenyo. MK says, what would be your wildcard team for future game weeks? Let's have a go. I did a wildcard video this week, in fact, or as part of a video. Let me see if I can find that. That would be the best way to show it, because I put more thought into that rather than doing it live. It basically had Salah over Haaland. Oh, we got 2,700 watching. Thanks for being here, everyone. It was the FPL Team Talk video, I think. I'm going to mute that so I don't hear me saying welcome back for another video. It wasn't that. That was the Dream Team one. Alright, pause that. This was the wildcard. So it was Raya, Munoz, Gabriel Anderson, Salah, Gakpo, Bruno, Reinders, João Pedro, Mateta and Gyökeres. And the bench was Dubravka, Senesi, King and Gudmundsson. That would be my wildcard if I was activating it this week. Ricardo says, also, keep up the great videos. I hope everyone has a great game week. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Hope you have a good game week as well. Hope everyone has a massive game week. Big green arrows. FC8 Sean, thanks for the 35 months. Next one's 3 years. And he says, start one this week. Madueke or Harvey Elliott. Madueke, all day. What's that on? Draft? Madueke for sure. I think it'll be Eze left wing, Madueke right wing. You could even go Madueke on a free hit, you know. You can do worse than Madueke on a free hit. I wouldn't be buying him. But yeah, on draft, like, yeah, Madueke as well. Ross Wheeler says, it just means I'll have Gakpo, Wirtz and Salah. Nothing wrong with that, Ross. Look at the next 2 fixtures. And if you haven't wildcarded, you've always got that option as well. You know, Game Week 6, for example, or 7, there's some fixture swings there. FPL Apprentice, thanks for the 21 months. He says, mate, can you create a free hit team, no Salah? I did make one. Was it that? I think it was that. That was what I put together. Yeah. You might be like 0.1 short. You could probably downgrade one of the 4 mil defenders. You could do maybe Richards over Anderson. Just go double Palace defence. Something like that. Obviously, if you go no Haaland, you can have Ekitike and spread the money around. But that was what I landed on drafting just now. 3-5-2. So it would be Alisson. You could go Raya, double Arsenal defence again. That's an option. Or you go Raya and Van Dijk. A few combinations there. Music stopped. You go Richards, Gabriel, Munoz, Enzo, Salah, Gakpo, Reinders, King, Haaland and Gyökeres. Wait, no Salah? Why no Salah? So if it was no Salah, you go Ekitike instead of Gw, and then probably Bruno instead of Salah. That would be it. Don't understand no Salah on a free hit, but fair play. Kvaz says Sartahu 6.5 or below. Probably Paquetá, it's probably the best one. I really like Enzo if you can afford 6.6, but I'm guessing you're saying you can't. So maybe Paquetá. Reinders are still fine. Probably Paquetá. Pretty good long-term fixtures on pens. I think he's scored in his last 2 games. Alfred says, I've got Ndiaye, Strand Larsen, 1 free transfer. Watkins to free money and Strand Larsen for Mateta and João Pedro. I'd be slightly careful with João Pedro, just based on Maresca's remarks. I think he'll either start and come off like 70 minutes, or he'll come on last half an hour, something like that. For a -4, I don't think I would do it. Difficult one, isn't it? Because Ndiaye is a doubt. He might be fine, he might not, we don't know. Strand Larsen's definitely out and you've got 1 transfer. I don't think I'd sell Watkins for a hit. Really close that one. I see what you're thinking, but I think I'd probably just about do it, you know. I'm guessing you can't afford... I'm guessing you haven't got the money in the bank to go Gyökeres and Mateta, because that's way better, in my opinion. But yeah, I think I would do the 2 moves, you know, just in case Ndiaye misses out. British says I'm annoyed about the Ndiaye flag. I know, it's so annoying, especially when it's vague like that. You don't know if they're out or not. Like, we just want to know they're out or they're not out. I know sometimes it can be a late fitness test, but sometimes it's just managers intentionally don't give us all the info because they're actually not wanting to give the information to the opponent for the next game week. They don't want the other managers to know. So, yeah, we tend to get a lot of that in press conferences. Like, it could be one of those where he's perfectly fine, minor knock, and Moyes just wanted to mention it to throw off the other manager and make him prepare in different ways. Or he could just be telling the truth. I think I'd probably do it, Alfred, though. Both moves. Long term, João Pedro is great. Slap It for Retail says Van der Ven, Sanchez and Vicario, Tosin, Gakpo or Semenyo on a wild card. I don't think I'd go any of those on a wild card. If you rewind, you probably saw it, Slap It. If you rewind like 2 minutes, I showed my wildcard draft and it just had Gakpo out of all of those players. Tosin should be alright. I don't mind Tosin. The other ones I wouldn't have. Gakpo, Semenyo, Tosin are fine, but not the other ones. If I had to be one of those combinations, Vicario and Tosin, but I'm not a massive fan of that. Milkman says, hey Mr. Focal, Palmer and Dorgu to Gakpo Munoz -4. I probably would do that, you know, just because if Palmer misses out and you've got Dorgu against City, it could be a brutal week. Whereas Gakpo Munoz, I think, are brilliant for the next 2 weeks and could repay that hit. So I think I would do that, yeah. Joe, thanks for the 26 months, says, would you rather Johnson or Xavi Simons? Johnson. Probably Johnson. I don't like either, though. I wouldn't be buying Spurs mids, I don't think. I'll just wait and see how they settle. I'd be looking elsewhere if I was buying mids. You know, like Enzo, Reinders, Gakpo, Semenyo. All of those guys I'd rather. Paquetá rather than Johnson. Or I'd just rather just see how they settle in, how they play. Xavi especially. Ayamide says, I need Munoz, but I'll have to do -4. Lacroix will take a hit. No, just go Lacroix. I wouldn't take the -4 to have Munoz over Lacroix. George, thanks for the 1 month. He says, do we have time for a Focal app giveaway? Oh yeah, I forgot to do the graphic. I can do one if everyone wants me to do a giveaway. I can give away like 5 season memberships for the Focal app. It'll take me like a minute or 2 to set it up, but I can do that if everyone wants me to do a giveaway. Let me do a quick poll. Alright, quick poll is up. Yeah, I've got time to do it if we want to, but it's up to you guys. I can give away like 5 memberships. T Salama says, 1 for each transfer, Bruno, Watkins, Wood, Strand Larson, 0.1 on the bank, save or Mateta. I still actually think, as mad as it sounds, Wood to Mateta's worth considering. Especially if you're looking to potentially wildcard Gameweek 6. I actually think Woods and Mateta is a nice move this week. I know Woods got nice fixtures after Arsenal, but he's come a long way from international duty. It's a horrendous fixture, Arsenal, and a lot of people are having to play him because of injuries elsewhere. Like T. Salama's got Strand Larson, some people have got Sarr. And I think in that situation, Woods and Mateta is worth considering. Alright, you want to do it? Yeah, that's fine. It'll take me about a minute to set it up, so let me just think of a code. Alright, I've thought of a code. Let me just go create it now. Right, we go there. Coupons. Be 10 months with free. Take you through the whole season. So we go. Right, that's that. Let's do that there. Alright, I'm going to put the code on screen in a second. So in the Focal app, if you go to the area where you can become a member, when you're about to check out, there's a code that I'm going to put on screen. Enter that and you're going to get premium membership for the Focal app for the whole season. Hang on. If anyone's not aware, got an app in the App Store, it's free. Loads of stuff in it like bonus points, fixture ticker, price changes, captaincy widget. And the app's free, but it also has like premium membership where you get extra features. So, the code is Gameweek 4. First ones to enter that get premium membership. I'll check here how many have redeemed it. Done. Bloody hell, that was quick. They're all gone. Congrats to those that got it. Let us know if you got it. If anyone missed out, to be fair, it's like 58p per game week or something. So if you want to support the project, we've got loads more coming. We're adding new stuff all the time. FPL.page is the website, or FPL Focal in the App Store. Thanks for the reminder, George. Ted Lovin says, hey Oscar, thoughts on starting Frimpong? I don't think I would chance it. What you mean if you've already got him? If you've already got him, yeah, you start him. But, is he back? Could be Bradley. I wouldn't be surprised if Bradley starts. Eze starts. Have we got Arsenal leaks? We never get Arsenal leaks. Let's have a look. I'm not saying anything on Arsenal. What's this? Translate post. Nope. I wonder if Garnacho makes his Chelsea debut today. Not that he's an option in FPL at all. Still kind of surprised by that transfer, but fair enough. Yeah, if you've got him, I guess you play him, Ted, but it's not great, is it? It depends who else you've got. Like, if you've got a decent alternative, I'd rather start them. But yeah, he's okay. Arsenal don't leak. True. Rio, thanks for the 17 months. He says, Oscar, when should selling Reinders be okay? 17 months, he says. Well, I would wait a while. I mean, if he starts like getting benched, then fine. But right now, he's not a major problem for that cheap, is he? Man United, Arsenal, not great. But like Game Week 6, Burnley home, Brentford away, Everton home. I'm hoping to keep him for that run, and then I'll sell. Maybe I won't have him in for a wildcard in Game Week 6, but I think it's fine to hold for now and then sell after that run ends. Again, unless he starts getting benched or whatever, but he seems quite solid for minutes right now. Especially with Marmoush and Cherky out. Char says, hey Focal, few dilemmas. Do I start Milenkovic, Konsa, Truffert? I would start Truffert out of those. Do I go Milenkovic to Munoz? Yes, I would do that. Start 2 out of Reinders, Wood and Ratter. I would start Reinders and I'll start Ratter. Captain Vert/Semenyo instead of Haaland. No, I'd captain Haaland. Or just ignore that you're a United fan. Yeah, so I'd captain Haaland. Boom. Luke says, -4, Gakpo to Tielemans or Xhaka, worth it or wait? Are you saying sell Gakpo for a hit? Or do you mean Tielemans to Gakpo? Xhaka to Gakpo I can kind of get behind. But I don't know if I'd do it for a hit. But yeah, I don't dislike the other way, Xhaka to Gakpo. Tielemans probably not so much. Xhaka, yeah, don't dislike that so much. you have to do it this week, really, or it might be a week too late by next week. But they do have Everton home. I'll probably do it, Xhaka out. Not a fan of the Xhaka pick. Start Elanga or Wood? Elanga. Got to be Elanga. Easy one. Captain Mateta, yeah, I'd say he's probably third best after Salah and Haaland. If you got those, I'd rather those. Alexis says, hey, hi Focal, my wild card is Petrovic, Dubravka, Virgil, Munoz, Senesi, Van der Ven, Gudmundsson, Gakpo, Semenyo, Salah, Reinders, Caicedo, Mateta, Haaland, Foster. Any thoughts? All the love. Foster. I'd probably just lose the Foster money and go down to a 4-5. Is he not 5 mil? I can't remember. Yeah, other than that, looks good. Van der Ven, I would swap out. Maybe Anderson. But yeah, looks good. Caicedo. Yeah, I mean, he's good for DCs, I suppose. Yeah, he's one of those. He's going to tick along, isn't he? Yeah, good team. I'd probably lose Foster, though. Maybe go Van der Ven up to a 5 mil defender like Gw4. Tuna says, start Milenkovic or Gudmundsson. I think it'd have to be Gudmundsson. If anyone's got any A or B in terms of defenders or keepers, these are the clean sheet odds. So Newcastle top 46%, Liverpool, Arsenal, Palace 44%. Leeds are on 21, Milenkovic is on 11. So yeah, you're about 10% likelier with Gudmundsson. They both probably concede, but Gudmundsson's the one. James says, Murillo to Munoz. Love your videos, best in the game. Thank you very much, James. Yeah, I was saying earlier, I think if you're in a situation where you're having to start Murillo or Milenkovic, I do think there's an opportunity there to buy Munoz. Like in my case, he's on my bench, so I can just about afford to leave it. But if you're having to start them, I think it's something to really consider this week. Especially if maybe you've got Sarr as well, and there's not many places you can go with Sarr, then you could just buy yourself a week by selling someone like Murillo or Milenkovic, start them, and then decide what to do with Sarr later. Sarr's an annoying one because there aren't loads of 6.5 mil mids and under. Like Paquetá, yeah, he's not bad. Enzo's quite nice if you've got the 0.1 mil. There's the likes of Kudus and that. They just don't massively inspire me. They're not bad. So I think Munoz is great because he's basically like an extra attacker. If you buy Munoz, you're basically playing a one less defender. So it's like 2-6-3 if you're playing that, or whatever your formation is. 2-5-3. Sorry, 2-6-2 or 2-5-3. RSA says, who should I transfer in to replace Dorgu? There's a few. I think Anderson's great with Leeds home. I think Senesi's great longer term. Richards is the best if you're going to wildcard, like Gameweek 6 to capitalise on the Man City fixture swing. So short term Richards, longer term Anderson or Senesi is what I would say. Like you could start Anderson the next 2 game weeks in Game Week 7. 6 and 8 probably not so much. You might get away with 6. Have a look at how the rotations fit into your team and depending on your chip strategy. Alex, thanks for becoming an FPL Focal member as well. Thank you very much, Alex. Last 15 minutes. Let me take a screenshot of my team before I forget and post that. Really enjoyed this stream. It's absolutely flown by. Making transfers on the app, but it's not deducting transfers. Made 3 transfers and it's still showing as 2 available. If anyone's having that glitch, it probably is counting your transfers and that's a display glitch. So be very careful with that. Don't go taking loads of hits thinking you've got unlimited 2 transfers. So, Gameweek 4 rolled. Good luck all. Hope you get a huge green arrow. Boom. So Salah captain, Gyökeres vice. And that's the tweet. Right. Alfred says, I've gotten Dye, Strand Larsen, Watkins and one free transfer. Am I stupid for considering Strand Larsen and Watkins for Mateta and João Pedro? Did you not ask this already? Or did someone else have the exact same question? I forgot the name. I said I probably would just about do it. I probably would. And I said, if you can afford Gyökeres instead of João Pedro, that's way better, but it depends on if you can afford that. What transfer did you make? I'm rolling. Double Spurs defence. Chill out, Archie. It's not that bad. It could be bad if they concede again this week. I think I've only got one clean sheet from them. Have I? No, I've got two. Oh no, I think I benched Romero against City, so it doesn't really count, does it? So I've got 3 clean sheets from my double Spurs defence so far this season. If they keep one this week, that's actually Spurs defence has actually done really well. But we'll have to see what happens. West Ham away. Obviously they beat Forest 3-0 away before the break. Yeah, I said I would probably do it, Alfred. Just because we don't know if Ndai's going to play. And I was saying it's annoying that we get really vague info from managers sometimes like that. Like if we knew Ndai was going to play, I would say definitely don't do it. If we knew Ndai was out, I'd say definitely do it. So we're in that difficult middle spot where we just don't know and you're kind of shooting in the dark. But I think I would do those moves, yeah. Milkman, thanks for the 2 months. Start 2 out of Frimpong, Reinders and Thiago. Reinders and Thiago. Bench Frimpong. Gw first bench. Yeah, it's just because I really wish I could find that quote from Maresca. Might be on Reddit. Oh, update from Ross on the Newcastle team. He says, I very much apologise. I've just been sent a DM from the same guy and says the old lineup is now incorrect. And he says, Thor, Hall and Elango not starting and Trippier, Murphy and Shearer in. So the team is Pope, Trippier, Shearer, Byrne, Livramento, Tonali, Bruno, Jonathan, Murphy, Walter-Mada and Barnes. What did you say? I have no idea at this stage. Apologies for sharing incorrect info. He has no idea, so I don't know. Do with that what you will. If you had Share, or you consider him on the free hit, maybe he's alright after all. So, found it. This was it. Pedro, not injury related, it's just a late fitness test against Brentford after returning Thursday from international duty and not training. Maresca said in a press conference, according to Fpl Gw4, the 3 Brazilian players arrived yesterday but didn't train. For all of them, it's a question mark for tomorrow. When they play in Bolivia, it's difficult. Hopefully, they can be back soon. So I don't know. I heard that and I was like, you know what? I'm nudging Gw up to first in my bench. Life's too short. Life's too short for Gw to be second or third on my bench. He's going to number 1. He probably isn't gonna come off my bench anyway. But you know what? That's why he's there. For those that are wondering. I mean, he might even start this week. That'd be interesting. If you're really in a pinch, you know, and you've got like Sarr and your bench is Gw, like you just start Gw and hope for the best. 10 minutes to go. Wex says Calafiori and Grealish or Livramento and Madueke have got no Newcastle players. Oh, I prefer Gabriel and Grealish. Calafiori and Timber are a little bit risky, like they're not completely nailed. Lewis Skelly could get the odd start, but he has been really good, Calafiori, and so is Timber. But I'd rather Gabriel and Grealish over Livramento and Madueke, I would say. Both good combinations. It's not that bad to have no Newcastle. I've got none either. Ari says Grealish is going to unleash hell on Villa. Site crashing. Yeah, if anyone's looking to make their moves, do it now, because sometimes the site does crash near the deadline. Mark says, it's great to have a Saturday morning deadline streams back. And he says, hit the like and subscribe buttons, everyone. Thanks as always, Oscar. Wishing you and everyone green arrows. Thank you very much, Mark. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully you'll smash at this game. Big green arrows. Today's so stacked as well. I have to bring up the fixtures one more time because today is looking so good. We've got Arsenal Forest first. Then we've got 5 games on at 3 p.m. Bournemouth, Brighton, Palace, Sunderland, Everton, Villa, Fulham, Leeds, Newcastle, Wolves. And then we've got West Ham v Spurs. And then we've got Brentford v Chelsea. And then tomorrow we've got Burnley against Liverpool and then the Manchester Derby. Although, as I said earlier, last time I said I can't wait for today's game, all 7 players blanked to me, so I'm happy to wait. But I'm just looking forward to today's games. Tyus FPS, thanks for the super chat as well. Did you mean to put a message with that? He says, who's the obvious captain in your eyes if you don't have Salah? It'd be Haaland, and then Mateta, Gakpo. Probably those. Day 8 of calling Focal Smexy Geezer. Play Murillo or Reinildo. If anyone's got any last minute A or B defender decisions, there's the clean sheet odds. From FPL.page. My app is free if you want to install it in the App Store. Search FPL Focal, link in the description. Loads and loads of free FPL tools and also some extra premium membership ones that we've added for those that want to support the project and unlock even more. 260,000 people use the app and website now. It's hard to like wrap my head around that number because originally I was like, let me make an FPL dashboard of stuff that I think would be useful. And yeah, to my surprise, loads and loads of people use it now. It's become a staple app for lots of people seemingly. So thank you everyone that uses it. Bake says Munoz for captain shout. Oh, it's a bit rogue. I don't like captain in defenders, but I don't hate it. He did pop up a bit earlier when we were looking at the captain widget. Look, there he is. So this week, Salah's on 5 stars, Haaland 3, Gyökeres 2. Oh yeah, Gyökeres, I forgot to mention him to that question about captains, Tice. Munoz and Mateta 1 star. I would actually agree with that order, except Mateta over Munoz. And I'd have Gakpo over Munoz. Oh yeah, we didn't look at the scout selection. Just very quickly, last 5 minutes. Let us know how many players you've got. They've gone Pope, Munoz, Chalobah, Anderson, Salah, Eze, Semenyo, King, Haaland, captain, João Pedro, Mateta. So I'm on Anderson, Salah. Fuck, I'm on 2. Has anyone got 2? You've got 7. Are you on a free hit? You must be on a free hit to have 7. 3. Mikey's on 1. I'm on 2 this week. Am I in trouble? Eze is kind of rogue though, isn't he? No one's buying him in their main teams. Like maybe on a free hit. 3, 4. 3, 2, 4. Anyway, last 5 minutes. I'll flick back to my team. Anyone that's joining late, I'm rolling this week. That's my team. Locked in. Right, we don't really ever get Arsenal leaks, but I'll check one more time. Yeah, nothing. What are you going to do longer term with double Spurs defence? Keep. I might be stuck with them for a bit. The fixtures aren't too bad long term. They're not too bad. It's West Ham, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds, Villa, Everton. So it's all right for like the next 6 game weeks in a pinch. I'd like to buy Gabriel in Game Week 7, so that might give me a bit of flexibility there. But in fairness, I'd be selling Murillo, not a Spurs defender. In hindsight, I should have gone Lacroix over Romero, but it is what it is. I might wildcard Game Week 6 anyway, so if I do that, I'll have no Spurs defence. No Palace, I know, no Palace. I may have bought Sarr for Rodgers if he'd not got injured, but this is where I've ended up. I'm rolling. And hopefully this week, Aston Villa play football. Luke says it's not too bad really, missed out on the Palace defenders unfortunately. Oh yeah, let's do a final captain poll. So we did the giveaway. Who is your captain? So we'll go Haaland, Salah, Mateta, and other. So if you go other, let us know in chat who is your other. Gakpo, Semenyo, captain. Gyökeres, yeah, I like that. Altamada, captain. Gakpo, captain. Gakpo, a lot of Gakpo captainers. Hopefully my Gakpo propaganda's not rubbed off on too many of you. Or if he does well, then hopefully it has. But yeah, my gut feeling is Gakpo over Semenyo in that price range for the next 2-3 game weeks and then reassess depending on what happens after Isak returns. But yeah, we saw the Liverpool quote. Isak's not going to start this game week. There's no way. Slot said, we're going to treat Isak the same way Sweden did. He missed a proper pre-season, so we have to build him up gradually, and that's going to be a challenge. But we've signed him not only for 2 weeks, but the next 6 years. So I think if you've got Ekatike, all good. You're going to get the nice fixtures out of him still. Gakpo should be fine as well for the next couple games. We'll have to see after that. Isak and Gyökeres for Game Week 6. Maybe. I'm not sure on Isak. He uses up a lot of money. Like, I'd rather have Palmer. Saka will be back by then. I'd rather have Saka. They'll be better for minutes. And they're on pens. Like, Salah's going to keep pens. Surely. Harry took a -4. What did he do? No way. What's he done? Wildcard 6 seems like the perfect wildcard time. Yeah, I really like Game Week 6 and I might use it then. I might use mine. Are you rolling Game Week 5? Yeah, I'm going to roll Game Week 5 as well. Yeah, the next two, the last Game Week team selection video and the next one are going to just be, yeah, I'm rolling this week. But please still watch them because there's going to be good content in those. But yeah, in theory, if I roll the next 2 games, I've got the option to wildcard and have three free transfers, or I can go Watkins to Haaland, Salah to Palmer, and then I sell Gakpo or Rodgers to someone like Ndai or Paquetá. You triple captained Gyökeres. Damn, good luck. I hope it pays off. And that is the deadline, if I'm not mistaken. Before all of you go, do hit like on the stream if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe. ABJ says, I've just woke up. You've missed the deadline if you literally just woke up. If anyone's got any final questions or anything to ask before we wrap up, I'm happy to sit here and answer. We used to do the predictions after streams, but I wasn't a big fan of the predictions, if I'm honest. We did it for the whole season, all 38 game weeks, but I think I prefer just sitting here for a few minutes. If there's any questions, then I'll answer them, rather than doing predictions and like no chatting. How is your patience with Rodgers? I'm not going to lie, it's not good. I mentioned in my video this week, he's something like 118th in the league for expected goal involvement over the first 3 game weeks. 118th. Let's go raid someone. Oh yeah, good shout. Is there anyone live that we could raid? Let me check my feed. Trophies live. Has he got up members only though? Or subscribers only? That's the thing. I don't think it is. Yeah, let's go over to Trophy. He's a good lad. We did a Twitter space the other day. Everyone run... Oh, I copied it wrong. We're going to go over to Trophy FPL's deadline stream and send him some love. Spam Focal Raid in his chat. I didn't actually end up doing any questions in the end. Sorry about that. Yeah, head over to Mo's stream. The link is in the chat. Spam Focal Raid in his chat. I'll see you over there. I hope you'll smash it this game week. Big green arrows. Thank you as always for tuning in. That is it from me. Focal out.